Please don't even call back. I don't need your love. I got my life on track. Think I seen enough. I put down the thumbtacks and I started thumbing racks. Hit it, then I put it back.
What up, everybody? It's another episode of Left Side Heavy, the podcast, presented by Blue Wire Hustle. I'm your host, Jevin Lefebvre. You can follow me on Instagram at jevin.lefebvre, on Twitter at jevinlefebvre. Find everything for the show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at leftsideheavy_. Today is the NFC conference preview and award winners. So me and Haydn, I'm bringing Haydn on again, whether it's unfortunately or fortunately. All love, brother. But yeah, we run through the NFC North, South, East, West, how each team will kind of finish, whether they'll hit their over-under, and then we'll run through MVP, Players of the Year, Rookies of the Year, Comeback Player, Coach, and then we'll hit the playoffs, AFC Conference, NFC Conference, and the Super Bowl. So it is a very, very fun episode. It was a bit on the longer side, so sit tight, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the show, and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube, leave a rating and a review, and yeah, you know what? Let's get this episode kickstarted. It's episode 56 of Left Side Heavy, the podcast, presented by Blue Wire Hustle. I'm your host, Jevin Lefebvre. You can follow me on Instagram at jevin.lefebvre, on Twitter at jevinlefebvre. Find everything for the show on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at leftsideheavy_. Also, be sure to give the YouTube a subscribe, Left Side Heavy, and if you're watching here now, thank you for joining us. And this is part 2 of the NFL preview show, and I'm back with my guy, Haydn Barton, and we're doing the NFC, and we're doing our season awards predictions, our Super Bowl picks. Should be a fun one, bro. Thanks for coming on again.
Yeah, man. I'm fucking pumped, NFC teams here. Ready to get this underway.
What, top to bottom, NFC or AFC?
What do you mean?
What do you think's the better conference?
I think we went through this last week, but I'm a lot higher on the AFC.
I think the NFC might be top heavy, but I think the NFC has the best division.
You mean best divisions or best conference?
No, I think, the NFC overall, I think, has the best division in football out of the 8.
Okay.
In the NFC, I think the NFC West is the best division in football.
Yeah.
But I think the AFC overall might be better. But honestly, it's tough to say. There's a lot of good teams in the NFL. But anyways, the NFC. When you think of the NFC, what kind of storyline or what stands out to you about this conference?
One thing that kind of stands out to me about this conference is that, like you said, when they're top heavy, I actually kind of agree with that, because I'm thinking about the last 3 or the 3 first round picks, right? It wasn't the 49ers that were originally in that 3rd overall spot. It was some different team, but the 2 first teams with the picks were the AFC. They're part of the AFC. So it's you have a lot of top-heavy AFC teams, but then you have a lot of low AFC teams. And the NFC is that nice middle part where it's oh, yeah, NFC has pretty solid teams all around.
Yeah.
So, you can't really bypass anyone in the NFC, even though, like you said, the NFC West is, you think, the hardest division. I think the AFC North is the hardest division.
With Cleveland, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Cincy?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, no, it's always a good conversation to have, because it can bounce back and forth between year to year, because every team is on there's a lot of teams close. So it's if a team has a bad offseason and the other team, a NFC team, has a bad one and the AFC has a good one, then it could just the conferences can easily change in the matter of that. So it all depends how every offseason goes. But yeah, the NFC, we'll start with last year's worst division. I don't think it'll be the worst division this year, but we're gonna start in the NFC East.
The NFC least.
The NFC Beast. The NFC East with the Giants, Eagles, Cowboys, and football team. We'll start with the Giants. We'll start with the Big Apple.
Nice.
There's a couple storylines here. You got Saquon returning from injury. Kenny Golladay just signed there. Their O-line is still figuring stuff out. But I think the biggest bright spot would be their defense, because their defense played very well last year. What do you make of the Giants this year? And any storylines or players to watch for the team?
I mean, you hit the nail on the coffin, right? Their defense is the one bright spot for their whole team. Saquon, obviously, if you want to talk about bright spots, actually, that's the biggest bright spot. So, I mean, Kenny Golladay coming in injured with the season. Who knows how he's going to play? I say this is a make or break year for Danny Dimes. And, they're definitely not the best team in this division by far.
No, yeah, this is definitely a figure it out year for Daniel Jones. It's like, hey, you finally have a good wide receiver in Kenny Golladay when he's healthy, right?
Yep.
You're getting your guy Saquon back. Daniel Jones just has to be disciplined with the ball because he's very mobile, so he can kind of make plays on his own. But once he does get those plays, it's like he's either fumbling at the end of the play or he's fumbling in the pocket. Like he's always had a problem with turning the ball over. And I think if he doesn't have a good year this year, then they're gonna he's done.
Yeah, it's 100%.
So they're over under right now set at 7. How do you have them?
7?
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Well, I have the schedule right here. Broncos, Washington, Atlanta, New Orleans, Dallas, Rams, Panthers, Chiefs, Raiders, Bucks, Eagles, Dolphins, Chargers, Cowboys, Eagles, Bears, football team. Holy fuck. That's a rough schedule.
I think they lose a lot of those games.
I think they lose a ton of these games. You know, their defense can't put them in so many situations here. I think they split with Dallas and Philly. I think they lose outright to Washington just because of how good Washington's defense is.
Especially that front seven where when Daniel Jones has had problems turning the ball over, that's an absolute crew that's going to be coming after you.
Oh yeah.
So it's scary to go up against Washington. And that's not just for Daniel Jones. That's for a lot of teams. Washington, we'll get to them in a sec, but
I agree.
No, yeah.
I have them at the under.
Yeah, I got them at the under too. I just don't think Saquon, he might be good for week 3, they're saying. Week 1 isn't guaranteed. And then
I've heard differently. I've heard he's looking to start week 1.
I've just heard I saw a couple things where it's week 3 is definite, and it's he's not going past that, but it's still not 100% that he's going to be starting week 1. So if he doesn't have him for the first couple weeks, then it's going to be hard to fulfill his position, right? So
that's true. And week 3 also is against Atlanta, so you're skipping the Broncos and football team.
Yeah.
So that could be a get-right game.
Yeah, exactly. So we both have the under 7 for the Giants. We'll shift to the Eagles. Quite possibly some of the worst fan base in the entire league.
Oh my god, dude, they're so toxic.
I don't see a ton of bright spots for the Eagles. They have a decent, they have an up and coming wide receiver and just a up and coming offense, I should say. It's just a matter of can they obtain an identity this year, which I think is really important for them.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Like, is Jalen Hurts your guy? I don't think they're going to have a problem ever with Stevonta Smith. I think the only thing holding him back is going to be, can Hurts get him the ball, or like, can he stay healthy? Like, I don't think he's going to be a bad player at all. But I don't know, a lot. I like Hurts this year. And I mean, with Miles Sanders, Boston Scott's still good, but is it Galeman? He's
Kenneth Gainwell.
Gainwell. He's looked very good this preseason. And
clearly the pass catching RB there.
yeah, so I think the Eagles, it's just like their defense. Can they piece it together? Can they provide like a backstop for when the offense doesn't produce? Like, that's just a huge question mark, right? So
It's huge, yeah.
I just think this is a year for the Eagles where they just need to figure out who they are as a team and like what direction they should go.
Yeah, no, definitely. This will be I don't think they're gonna do anything too special. I have them in New York, kind of in the bottom half of the whole league, honestly. And if they don't really do anything this year, they really got to attack the defense in the draft next year, or at least try and piece together something, because they have a decent defensive line, but they have no secondary help or linebackers.
Yeah.
You're starting a CFL linebacker or ex-CFL linebacker, all right? Like,
yeah,
that says a lot about you.
Yeah, it's a lot of them get signed to the practice squad, and if like, I mean, obviously there's been those stories like Cam Wake, like people have come from the CFL and had success, but I mean, there isn't much. If that's like your talking point, like bright spot, focal point on the defense, then you got some work to do. But every team has been in that position, and it's just like their time right now. But they're over under right now, set at 6.5, like we kind of stated and have kind of been talking. We got the under. At least I got the under.
Yeah, I have the under too.
The football team. Fitzmagic. Lots of positive vibes coming from this team. What do you make of the football team and kind of how they've handled this offseason and come into the season? Their defense looks great.
I am fucking excited for the football team, man. They have one of the youngest, but yet almost like most veteran present defense I think I've ever seen. It's crazy. It's insane. And then their offense is firing on all cylinders now with Terry McLaurin, soon to be Curtis Samuel, Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick, Logan Thomas, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Oh my God. Like, the one thing is Ryan Fitzpatrick, is he actually a good quarterback? He's had one winning season with the Jets, but the Jets fucking suck, okay? Like, if Fitzmagic doesn't do anything this year, that's it. Yeah. That's it. This is his chance. This is his opportunity to just prove everyone wrong.
This is like a make it or break it year. Wait. Sorry. Long day. Not a make it or break it year for Fitzpatrick, but this is obviously the best team that he's played on in his whole career. Like, I think he's got the best receivers on his team. I think he's got the best defense behind him. And that Logan Thomas guy, he's an absolute dog. So when I say make it or break it, it's basically saying, like, are you just a guy who slings it and gets lucky? Like, he's never won a playoff game. Like, can you take advantage of being on a team as good as this? Or are you truly bad? Because I think if they are bad, it's going to be because of Fitzpatrick. But I think the way Fitzpatrick plays, he was playing good in Miami. But they had no choice but to bench him because they had to see what Tua was made of, right? And I think it was just Fitzpatrick being in like a situation where it's like, if it wasn't for a rookie being behind me, then I would have played that entire season. And he was playing well, right? So
it was.
So I think with McLaurin, Thomas, Samuel as your pass catchers, and then you got Gibson and McKissick coming out of the backfield, they are very well built to go on a run this year. And this he could potentially his first playoff win could consist of a playoff run if he deals the ball out good enough.
I agree.
Because also coaching, that's not the problem. Riverboat
Ron.
I think the only reason why he got fired from Carolina, I think, is because they were just in a different place where they need to retool. Like, we need a new voice in the room. We're releasing Cam Newton. Like, we're just we're rebuilding.
Cleaning house.
Yeah, not necessarily rebuilding, but just pressing the reset button. Let's just like get some new voices in here, all that. He's still a very good coach. They're 100% vaxxed, so they're not going to be in any danger of like forfeiting games right? So I like Washington this year. They shouldn't be, exactly. They're over under right now set at 8.5. I think despite their schedule, I still think that they are hitting the over. I don't think that they're finishing this year with a losing schedule.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I take the over as well. I see them beating, every team in their division, maybe only splitting with Dallas.
Yeah, I agree.
There you go. That's 5 games right there. And then, you got the Falcons as an easy team. You got the Panthers and the Raiders. And then right there, that's already 8 wins, right? So now you just got to think, can they beat can they beat the Broncos? Can they beat the Bucks, the Packers, the Bills, Chargers, or the Saints? And out of those teams, I think they can easily pull out 2 wins.
Yeah.
And then hit 9. So, yeah. I like the over on Washington.
I think they're a 9-10 win. They're a 9-10 win team this year, I think.
I agree. Yeah.
The Cowboys. They're getting Dak back after that gruesome leg injury or gruesome cramp.
It's just a cramp.
It's just a cramp.
Tony Romo.
My gosh, that's one of the greatest sound bites of all time. I think it's just a cramp, Jim. His ankle is literally
almost coming
bending the other way.
Leg.
Yeah. It's just a cramp.
Fuck.
I think the storyline for this team is if you're a degenerate gambler, pick the over for every Dallas Cowboys game because they are going to be in a shootout every single game.
Time.
They have one of the top 5 offenses in the league, if not like top 3, with Prescott. The best wide receiving core in the league, I think, was Cooper, CD, and Gallup.
Yeah,
Gallup's like a 1,000-yard receiver, and he's like the 3rd one on the depth chart, and it's like he was like 1,000-yard receiver before they got CD. And then obviously you have Zeke and the best handcuff running back in Pollard.
Pollard, yeah.
Who might even be a better runner of the ball than Zeke. It's just Zeke is
bigger. Yeah, and can catch
right?
better.
But their defense is there's so many holes in that defense, right?
And what was it? They spent like 6 out of their 7 draft picks on defense this year.
Yeah, so there's going to be a very interesting team. They're like the KC of the NFC, right? They're just going to put up a lot of points, but I just think they're just a tier below them. This is one of the teams I was talking about is a hard over-under for me. They're at 9.5. They were the storyline of them this year was the same one, was my expectations of what I think is going to happen this year as it was last year. And they were 1-3 before Dak got hurt. And they were onside recovery from being 0-4.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Prescott was on pace to get 6,000 passing yards last year, and then he snapped his leg.
Yep.
Right?
No, it's insane.
So I think I have them on the under. I still I think they're going to finish around 8-9 wins. I just they're just always a team where it's somehow, some way they just can't get it done.
Oh yeah, no, 100%, 100%. I'm taking the under as well. They're going to be in a lot of shootouts, and they're going up against a lot of teams who could put up good numbers and could shoot out with them. Or even they're just playing teams with pretty good defenses. Obviously they got to face Washington twice, right? And then
Tampa Bay in the opener.
Yeah, the opener. Okay, how about this? If the Cowboys win Thursday night, some way, somehow, they're hitting the over.
Yeah.
But if they don't win Thursday night, I'm taking the under. It's not just like a fade in that weird way, but I really want to see how Dallas is after this one game. Like if Dak is truly unstoppable and their defense, it doesn't matter how bad they are, they could give me like fucking New Orleans 2013 vibes where they're 7-9, but Drew Brees is putting up 45 points a game and still losing.
Yeah.
Like that's how I see this Cowboys team this year.
Yeah, it's a team that's very hard to judge because they have so much talent on one side of the ball, but it's like how much of it can it make up for the lack of talent on the other side of the ball?
I agree.
So, yeah, we both got the under, but I think it's a slight under. Like I think they finish around nine wins, or like 8 and a tie, right? Like
the tie.
It's just like it's such a even over under for this team. They have enough talent to win 12 games this year, but it's just a matter of like, can that defense help them out, right?
Exactly.
How do you see this division shaping out 1-4?
I think we both see it. Maybe we don't. I see it Washington. I see it Dallas. I see it New York. I see Philly.
I'm the same.
Yeah. I presumed as much.
Yeah. How many playoff teams do you see from this division? One?
Maybe Dallas gets in a wild card. You know, we'll go through the whole thing and then we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. The NFC West, my top division in
the NFC best
in the league. Yeah, the NFC best. The 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, and Cardinals. Now, the 49ers will start.
All right.
We'll start with the 49ers. Very broken team last year. Full of injuries. I think Trey Lance has to be the quarterback for 15 weeks. Like, he has to come in around like week 2 or 3 for this team to really shoot up. I just think they're going to set him out for like, he might pull some Jameis Winston snaps. Like, come in and like for some big play ones, like some crazy shit, because Shanahan's like a coach that can like pull a trick play out of his mind. Kind of thing.
Offensive mastermind.
But I think he comes in around week 2, 3.
Okay.
How do you break down the 49ers in terms of how they can excel, or how can they excel their 10.5 over-under total?
Well, I know I gave you like a fucking hot ass take that you asked the Did You Hear podcast about it like the other time, right? Where I thought Kyle Shanahan, I still think Shanahan's overrated just because of my reasons. We don't need to get into it, right? But this year, it's like I think Shanahan might be quietly on the hot seat if he has a disappointing year. Like if they don't make playoffs, I could realistically see Shanahan getting canned, because it's like he has a great team. He has a great defense. And that one year where he went 13-3, it really proved it. So if he does good this year, he'll be great, but he's going up against some pretty hard teams. But then he's also going up against some pretty easy teams. So I think they can hit the over just because they have a very beneficial schedule towards the end of their year.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bosa's going to be a huge piece to come back to really cause havoc on all quarterbacks.
Easily comeback player of the year candidate.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. Obviously, like this division, the top 3 can be scrambled in any sort of order. I think Arizona's like last place.
Yeah,
I think just because they're
best
like
team in the NFC East.
Like, it's just they got screwed over because they have a talented team. It's just that they're with 3 of the top teams in the NFC. Like,
yeah,
right? It's just like, it's so unfortunate, right? But this could also be a division somehow what just happened? Where all 4 teams could make the playoffs.
Wouldn't that be fucking insane?
That would be crazy. Because
They
you
all
think
split with each other and then win 12.
You think like we'll get to Arizona later, but you see Kyler Murray, D-Hop, they got Rondale Moore, they have Christian Kirk, 2 good gadget receivers. If James Conner works out, he had a great rookie year. He just needs to stay on the field. Chase Edmonds is a good RB2.
Yep.
Even can edge out Conner for RB1. Right? And then they got JJ Watt. They have Chandler Jones. If Isaiah Simmons works out, right? But this division, man, it's just insane. But for the 49ers, I just think they're a very solid team from top to bottom. I think like you see Ayuk and you get George Kittle back, Deebo Samuel. I really like this team, and they get Trey Sermon too with Raheem Mostert. That's going to be a nasty backfield.
I agree.
So I got 49ers hitting the over. If Jimmy Garoppolo can just manage the game good enough.
Mm-hmm.
What are their first 3 weeks of this season?
The first 3 weeks are very easy, other than one. You got Lions, you got Eagles, and you got Packers.
See, I still think that's potentially a 3-0 start to the season. If they can hit Packers, if they just need to go toe-to-toe with the Packers. They can't really go like 3 straight drives without scoring anything, right?
Yeah.
So I think the 49ers have what it takes to have a 13-win season again. They just need to. I think Lance needs to come in this year.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say one thing more too. Like, if Lance comes in, they're going under. Garoppolo is the guy. Redshirt Lance this year. Bring him in, like you said, with some Jameis Winston big play ability, but keep Garoppolo in there. Unless Garoppolo is just shitting away your season and you're like fucking 2-7 midway through the season, then put in Lance. But you gotta ride your starter. You gotta ride the guy that you came into this whole 4-year deal or however many year deal he has and
yeah,
ride
I'm not
him
too
out.
sure.
Yeah, because if you put in Lance, I don't know. It's a good system, yeah, but rookie quarterbacks, I always tend to fade rookie quarterbacks. So that's why you got to keep Garoppolo in there. If he fucks away your season, then put in Lance. See what you got for the rest of the year, and then boom. Next year comes, get rid of Garoppolo, Lance.
Is it going to be like a Miami situation?
It could be. It could very well be. If Garoppolo's doing good, though, keep Garoppolo in.
Well, Fitzpatrick was doing good last year.
Yeah, I know, but see, they had the narrative of putting in Tua at a certain point. Does Shanahan really have a plan to put in Lance at a certain point?
He said he's always wanted a quarterback like Lance, so maybe he just it starts itching at him like, okay, I need to throw this guy in.
He also said
because they traded up for him.
He also said that Lance wasn't on his draft board, and he was looking at Fields and Mac Jones, and then what does he do? He drafts Trey Lance. So he always has a little bit of smoke wherever he's coming from. So he's a little bit of a dicey coach.
He could also be steering away media. Who knows the games that they play.
Exactly.
So we both got the over.
Yeah,
yours is an under with Lance in.
Yep, I have the over with Garoppolo.
The Rams. I think they're one of the best all-around teams in the league. They got a high-flying offense. I really don't like the Cam Akers injury. I think he was going to have a good year this year. It's heartbreaking to see that.
Yeah, no.
But Darrell Henderson still produced for them on a high level last year. Maybe not high level, but productive level. Like, he was a good running back to have on the team. And then they get Sony Michel, who had a good rookie year in New England. He just couldn't hit a hole on the offensive line years after. And they finally get a QB that can stretch the field
Yep.
on a
Yeah,
more
that's so
consistent
nice
basis.
to see.
And that's why I just like this team is just like unreal. You got Jalen Ramsey, Sam Darnold, and
Sam
then
Darnold, Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald, god damn it. And then Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Higbee, Matt Stafford, of course.
Mhm.
So I just think they're very well built, and they're gonna have a very good year this year.
Yeah, I love the Rams this year. I mean, I know we talked about it way early in the year, back in like February or March, and Stafford had just, oh no, it's definitely March, because Stafford had just gone to the Rams, and we're like,
It was
whoa.
It was shortly after the Super Bowl that he went
Yeah.
there.
Okay. So maybe it was, yeah, it February, March. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah,
I was pretty good with timing, but yeah, like
yeah,
that was just like, whoa. Rams actually have a fucking chance. This could be 2018 Rams
yeah.
better, because Stafford is way better than Goff. At least
Yeah.
in my opinion. I
I
think he's so underrated.
I think Tyler Higbee's value slightly goes down. He's still gonna have his big games because Hawkinson last year had his big games, but I think Stafford's more of a down the field push, and I don't think Higbee's quite a stretch the field tight end as much as Hawkinson is. I still think Higbee's gonna have a good year, but I think his value either stays the same or slightly goes down. It wasn't as high as it was before because I think Jared Goff uses his tight ends a lot more. But it's still he's still a very serviceable tight end because Hawkinson still played good, but he just had his
Mhm.
inconsistencies.
Yeah.
And Jared Goff, like I think he uses his tight ends a bit more to be consistent. But I still like every piece on the Rams. I see no weaknesses on this team. And they got the no, it was the Browns. Never mind. It was the Browns that got the pieces from LA. LA didn't get it from the Browns. But like Johnson and cornerbacks went to Cleveland.
Yeah.
But
Johnson and Johnson.
I still like LA, and I think they're gonna have a very big year this year. They're over under set at 10.5. I still think they hit that over. If I think they're better than San Fran, and I think they're both gonna hit
Yeah.
it.
No, I like the over as well. Especially on, some of these like top tier teams.
Yeah,
I like the Rams beating, the Bucks. I like the Rams beating, oh, voice crack. I like the Rams beating the Packers, and I like the Rams beating the Ravens, 49ers, and I like them beating every team this year, because
yeah,
yeah, there's just so much more versatile this year. And to your point about Higbee, I think his stock goes up because of the Cam Akers injury. Darrell Henderson was good, but they drafted Cam Akers to replace Darrell Henderson. So I don't know how much confidence McVay actually has in Henderson. He's serviceable, but now with Michelle here, maybe it kind of like steers them towards the running game, because that's their identity, right? Like,
I
look
think
at
he has a
Gurley.
ton of confidence in Henderson. I think he
Okay.
has a ton of confidence in him because he
And
was
that's the
serviceable
narrative.
last year, and like I just think he wants to be able to get Michelle to obviously have a committee, but I don't think that deflates Henderson the confidence McVay has in Henderson at all. It's just a lot of like, what if Henderson gets hurt? Then you're screwed.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
So, but yeah, I think all the pieces on that team are at a high level right now.
And they're all
And
there too. So
yeah,
that's exactly what they need.
yeah. And then you get McVay, who's a mastermind as a coach,
Agreed.
right? So yeah, I got the over at 10.5.
I also have the over.
Yeah. Seahawks. When I went on to Ian's podcast, Speak Your Piece, I said the under, and right after the episode, I told you, or like as you were listening to it, I said that there's a few teams that I regret my answer on,
Mm-hmm.
and the Seahawks was it. because despite it being 10, anything's possible with Russell Wilson at quarterback.
Yeah, that's very true.
And it's just like with like DK just keeps getting better. Tyler Lockett has become one of the more slept on receivers in the league.
100%.
And I don't know what it is. They're in so many. The thing that why I said the under is because of how many one-score games that they won last year. And if it wasn't that for them going the other way, they probably wouldn't have done as good as they did last year.
Yeah, no,
So
definitely.
it's like, what's your opinion on? Because I want to hear what you have on the Seahawks to kind of like edge me towards the over or under. Because I have an answer, but I'm so unsure about this team.
All right. On Ian's podcast, Speak Your Piece, I loved your answer. The under, you look at what teams they have to play and knowing the defense that they just got rid of their best corner. Like, generally, who is their starting corner right now? Because Shaq Griffin's gone. KJ Wright, gone. You still got Bobby Wagner. That's awesome. Right? And you still got like some not veteran safety, but you got like some serviceable safeties. But yeah, like their offense, they could be like Dallas, except they want to run the ball. That's their identity. They have four receivers on their 53-man roster and 5 running backs on their 53-man roster. So if that tells you anything, they want to run this ball. They want to keep the games close, and they want to make sure that whatever team they play, you need to beat them in the run game. And if you don't, then they're going to air it out. But if you have serviceable corners, like against a lot of these teams, I don't know, man. It's so hard. I think the under is a great decision because their defense is so bad, and they'll go up against some high-powered offenses. Like high-powered.
Rattle off some of the offenses that they go against.
All right, they go against Indianapolis week 1. They go up against Tennessee week 2. And then they get back-to-back with 49ers and LA. And then you got the Steelers, who are like offensive line. Then you got New Orleans, who could be getting Michael Thomas back at that point. Who knows? It's going to be a close one. That one's going to be a great game. I cannot wait to go see that game. Then you got Green Bay. And then you got, if you want to really consider Chicago a pretty decent defense or offense, their defense is going to be great. But those are the high-powered offenses that really could take it to them.
Yeah, those are some very, very good offenses.
And you know Arizona always plays Seattle hard too.
Yeah.
So you can't count them out for either of those 2 games.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. It's just, and then you just like, it's like, oh wait, Russell Wilson's quarterback. He's very, very good at football. And
Great.
it's just like, fuck. This defense is so bad, but Russell Wilson's so good, and he always just fucking pulls stuff out of his ass and brings out a win.
Yeah, no, that's I like the under just because of their defense.
On paper, the under looks like the right play. I have it at 10. I'll say it's a push. I say they get 10 wins.
But it's not going to be pretty.
It's going to be a very fluctuated 10 wins. Like, it's going to be like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
My gut says under, but it's just like,
Their 3 free wins are the Lions, Texans, and Jags.
Yeah.
Those are 3 free wins.
They don't have to. They
find 7 more wins in between this. That's hard.
Like, if they played Geno Smith at quarterback, he probably could win those games for them.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So, yeah, Seahawks, I have them at a push at 10, and you got them at the under.
Yeah. Probably
The Cardinals. This is a team where I think it's make it or break it. It's just like, there's so many good pieces on this team, but it just feels like it's desperately put together. But they get J.J. Watt to kind of to run the line with Chandler Jones. They got James Conner. They lost Kenyon Drake. So I think that's just kind of you didn't really lose or gain anything. I think they're kind of the same tier running back. If anything, I'd give the slight edge to Drake just because he's more consistently on the field. And I don't know. I'd rather have Drake than Connor, but it's not by a wide margin. And I think their defense just needs to step up because they've made They've made a lot of games close when they shouldn't have been close, right? They have what it takes to have a good defense, right? They got Budda Baker at the safety.
Beast.
Yeah, Beast.
Patrick Robinson and Antrell Roll Jr., right?
Yeah.
Did he go to Arizona? I forget if he did.
I'm not 100% sure, but
I know they got a corner, right?
I'm pretty sure, like in the first round.
Oh wait, no, they drafted a linebacker, right?
Yeah, they drafted a linebacker. Yeah.
Okay, it was the second round that they got someone.
Yeah, they got a linebacker, and then you got Isaiah Simmons second year. He should be better.
Yeah, love that guy.
Yeah, and then J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones on the line. So, yeah, their over-unders at 8.5. This is another team where I was like, I have them at the over, just because I don't know, they have the offensive talent. It's just a matter is D-Hop going to play, right? Just because he's very against the way the NFL's handling anti-vax rules and stuff like that. But I still think,
yeah, that's concerning.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'll fuck around and say the over at 8.5. But it's similar with the Seahawks where it's just like, man, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at their schedule again, and holy fuck, man! Like, obviously going through basically the exact same teams as Seattle, and honestly, maybe even a little bit more challenging here. Like, instead of the Steelers, they had the Browns, and I like the Browns more than I like the Steelers, right?
Yep.
And then, yeah, like they go against basically the whole NFC least. They're only just missing Philly, which is actually kind of funny. They play against the Bears, Lions, and Cowboys. That's very interesting. So I see them under by only half a game. I say they get to 8.
8?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're an 8 or 9 win team. Like, I don't think they're hitting double digits this year.
Yeah, and I think Cliff Kitchens quietly might be out the door after this season. That
was my first coach to get fired. I think. Yep. I think Kingsbury's going to be gone. Which maybe I'll say
calling him Kitchens, so I'm sorry about that.
Did I just call him Kitchens? I think
no, you called him Kingsbury. Okay. I keep calling him Kitchens just because I think it's funny and hilarious.
Well, I called Aaron Donald Sam Darnold, so that makes up for it. Yeah, we can't speak this episode, Haydn. This is a tough one. Maybe we need to branch out. Maybe I need a different guest on the show. Maybe it's this.
Oh fuck.
Hey, why don't you go get Adam or Duncan in here, eh?
Oh yeah, I'll just go get Duncan. He can be your San Francisco guy.
Yeah. Yeah, so you know what? I'll join you and I'll say over under 8. I'll say under 8. I think they're gonna beat the 8. But
join me, brother.
I don't know if this fits YouTube viewer policies or whatever. Just tarps off for the boys, hey?
Oh yeah, tarps off.
Just a bag of milk.
All right, calm down there. Calm down.
So you're gonna keep talking because I'm gonna ask you this. How do you see the NFC West shaping out 1-4?
LA, San Fran, Seattle, Arizona.
I'm with you, partner. I am with you.
And Ian, if Trey Lance comes in, then it's LA, Seattle, San Fran, Arizona.
Yeah.
Or LA, Seattle, San Fran, Arizona.
I think that's what you just said.
Oh, did I? I didn't know if I said LA.
No, you said LA, yeah. You're good.
Okay.
You're good. All right. The NFC North. This is a very interesting division. Because there's like a top team, two mid-tier teams, and then bottom of the
Bottom of the
barrel.
barrel.
Yeah. But we'll start with the top. The Packers. Probably the biggest storyline in the league. Rodgers and Adams. Could this be their last dance with the team? Are they going to part ways with Green Bay after the season? They add a couple depth pieces to their wide receiving core with Randall Cobb is making his return, and then they draft Eli Rogers from Clemson. And defense, very hard to judge.
I think they have a very, very average defense.
I think
maybe
it's
above average.
Very like 13th out of 32.
I was literally about to say top 13.
Like 13 to 15, I think, is a healthy range for the Packers. Yeah, it's like they could have a really good game, and then the next game they could completely shit the bed against even a worse opponent.
Well, just somehow. Look at fucking Minnesota last year, right?
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook running all over them.
Yeah. And then they'll just get 3 picks off like Mahomes somehow, and then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're very hard to judge. I think they have the second best corner in the league in Jair Alexander, behind Jalen Ramsey. But their over-unders at 10.5. And judging off, I think they, out of the 6 games that they have in their division, I think they can get 5.
Oh, very easily.
If not, they're gonna
if not 6
sweep them. Yeah. I just think the one is like
Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think they're hitting the over. I think they're going over 10.5. I just think
this is probably a 13-win team. Right here.
It's just everyone says it's like, but their offense, they only have Adams as a weapon. It's like they've gone 13-3 the past like 2 years, and that's been the storyline going into every season. So I don't think they're gonna have a problem with hitting over 10.5 wins, especially with the extra game.
Oh yeah, and you know what? That's so bullshit because they don't just have Adams; they have Aaron Jones and now AJ Dillon, the quad father himself.
Holy dude!
I like Dillon way more than I like Jamal Williams in this system because it gives them so much different versatility, using Aaron Jones and then boom, hit him with the AJ Dillon. And Tanyan, that is the most efficient tight end season ever.
I could see
catches, 11 or 13 touchdowns. Like,
yeah, I think 11 touchdowns sounded right to me. And I think he could finish with like the most touchdowns out of any tight end in the league this year. Again, like I think
he could finish with 8 touchdowns easily.
Easily, like in the red zone, he just eats him up. He's such a big target, easy, quick pass for Rodgers. I like a lot of the Packers, and they're just a consistent team that is easy to hit the over with.
Yep, so I agree.
We'll shift to the Vikings. Hard to sleep on a Zimmer defense, right? They always,
especially after last year.
Yeah, they always find ways to compete hard, which is why I think they're going to be the only team in this division to split with the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
If the Packers were to split with any team, it would be this team, because that offense, you got Thielen and Jefferson, and then you got Dalvin Cook, and then also another very good handcuff running back in Madison.
Yep.
And it's just a matter, the biggest storyline with this team, and I think everyone agrees with this, is what Kirk Cousins are you getting that week?
Yeah. Are you getting prime time or are you getting 10 a.m. Kirk?
Yeah. Because there was a stat out there where he throws the most accurate ball in the league, but it's either like dead on target or it's just like not complete there at miss. All. So I think his average is high because he's thrown a lot of on-the-money passes. But also, you got Jefferson, who broke away from a lot. He created a lot of separation last year.
Yeah.
So I think Kirk is holding this team back. But also, it's like he's come to play often.
Oh, yeah.
So, give me your opinion on the Vikings. I feel I've been talking too much this episode.
Oh no, man. Like Mike Zimmer, this positive regression for his defense, right? Like last year was the clear outlier season. He's not that kind of coach that just says, "All right, well, this is going to be the new norm." No. He's going to go head to head, toe to toe with any team this year, and it's going to be a running team first.
Yeah.
That's who Dalvin Cook is, and unless he stays healthy or if he gets injured, that's when you kind of say, okay, the Vikings are kind of only one dimensional now. And it's how much do you rely on Kirk Cousins? And I know Madison is very serviceable, but he's not Dalvin Cook, So what's the over under for Minnesota here?
8.5.
I like the over. I like the over on this team because I can see them getting 5 wins in their division. Max or minimum 4, right?
Yeah.
And then I see them beating the Cardinals. I see them beating the Bengals. I see them beating the Cowboys, and I see them beating the Panthers. So that's already like 9 there if you really count the 5 wins. So, and then they could easily, well, not easily, but they could go up against Rams very well. They could go up the Steelers very well. They can go up against any NFC West team. So they always play the Seahawks super hard too, so that's an interesting one.
The thing with the Bears, or like the Vikings with playing the Bears also play the Vikings very well too. So I think that could easily be split. True. That could easily be a split, I think too. This is like, as much as sometimes the Bears get shit on, like they have a very underrated team. Like they've always just been a quarterback away from competing hard. Like people forget that Trubisky got them to 10 wins, or like he was the quarterback to a 10-win Bears team. And
he was 2 years ago.
Yeah, and if Fields can come in, and I think he's everything better than Trubisky.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think Fields comes in like week 3. Like I think he comes in pretty quick. When do they play the Bengals? They play them pretty. Yeah, they play in week 2, right? I think Fields no later than week 4. Depends how the reunion game with Dalton goes, right? He goes to Cincy. How does that go? Does he suck that game? If he sucks that game, then Fields goes in.
Yeah, he
goes
in rounds.
So, because I think that Bears team is a different level when Fields is playing, but for the Vikings, I think I'm gonna go under. I think they go under. I think they're like an 8-win team.
Oh, so you're like right on the cusp almost.
Yeah, kind of like with Arizona. I think they're just like very on the money there. I could easily see them getting. I don't think they hit double digits wins. So if it is over, then it is like they're a 9 or 8-win team for me. I'll say, I think they're. I'll set them at 8.
All right,
wins.
All right.
The Bears. I think their identity.
Bears.
I think their identity is their defense. But I mean, Fields has looked good this preseason. So, what are you looking forward to with this Bears team, and kind of how do you see their season?
I'm looking to see how short of a leash Andy Dalton has with the starting quarterback position.
Yeah,
I looked at Fields and I looked at some of the plays he made, and this guy, he's gonna make some people regret not taking him, top 5. I feel like, he looks fucking good. He looks crisp. And you know what? No shame or no shade to Andy Dalton here, but I would take Andy Dalton over Trubisky and Foles 9 times out of 10. So if Andy Dalton plays good, you redshirt Fields. If you're 4-4 at the halfway point, I feel like that's a very, very decent place.
Yeah.
And the last half of the schedule you could easily end at a 9-8 or 8-9 season.
Yeah.
For Chicago.
And for that reason, I have them hitting the over. I think 7.5 is low for this team because I think as much as the leash is for Dalton, and as much as I think Fields should be even fucking starting week 1, because I think he just brings his team to another level. They'll maybe let him breed a couple games, let Andy Dalton screw up a couple times, and then throw him in. But I still think Dalton is somewhat serviceable. But I just think Fields is the better play for this team. But I still have him as... If it was Andy Dalton for a full season, I'd probably pick the under. But I still think that their offense, Darnell Mooney is going to take a big step this year. I really like Allen Robinson and Cole Kmet.
Yep.
I've heard a lot of good things about him. And then you got defense, like every level. You got Jackson, then you got Roquan Smith, then you got Khalil Mack and Hicks. And I just like a lot about this team. It's just quarterback's always been skeptical. But I think if they can get Fields in there, then they're a very scary team.
You're forgetting about one like really, really good player on the offense, though.
Jimmy Graham.
Red zone stealer here. You're telling me that guy still doesn't have it. No, I'm kidding. He man. I think the Bears can easily be a 9-win team.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
The Lions.
Nice.
The NFC South. So
yeah, I hope you really don't have any Detroit fans because they're not gonna like what we have to say at all.
I mean, like they're bright. I think their only bright spot for this team is like Deandre Swift and Jeff Okudah, and Okudah still had a very sus rookie year, but cornerbacks, I think that's probably the hardest position to be a rookie in is cornerback because of how elite the receivers are in the NFL. So I'm not at all worried about Okudah. I still think he's going to be a very special player.
Oh, yeah.
And then DeAndre Swift, he's expecting big things. But it's just like the Lions are in a position where they're just biting kneecaps and they're just going to be rebuilding for the next 5 years, right? So
what do you think they or what's the over-under here for them?
5.
Take the under. That's free money.
Yeah,
free
I got
money.
the under. Yeah, I got the under with them too.
I see them only winning like 2 games this year.
Like 3 games, 3-4 maybe.
Yeah.
Four is like somehow. Somehow. What's their depth chart looking at? I gotta start.
Don't look.
Is it?
You know it's bad when they signed Brashad Perriman to, a 2-year fully guaranteed deal, and then they cut him. Like they just cut him, and I'm like, man, what the fuck are you doing? I like Dan Campbell as a head coach. I think he brings a lot of like feistiness to the locker room.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be very fun to watch Lions games just to see how.
And I like the way that he built in the draft this year by not doing the stupid thing and taking Penei Sewell. And even that, like, he's had a hard training camp, I heard, but like
he didn't play for a year.
Yeah, like this guy's a rookie. Like I hate how people bag on rookies so much.
Yeah, right. It's a huge step. So, how do you have this division playing out?
I think it's pretty obvious. Actually, it might not be obvious. I say Green Bay, Minnesota, Chicago, Detroit.
Green Bay, Chicago, Minnesota, Detroit.
All right.
Like I think the Bears, it's going to be Bears have 9, Vikings have 8. Like that's how I feel. Like it's going to be so tight for that second place. Maybe a wild card team from maybe. Very decent chance. The NFC South. We're not going to start with your team quite yet. I see those nipples getting hard there, buddy. I know that. I know they're piercing through the Kamara jersey, but
the 4 and the 1 are looking hot right now.
Yeah, we'll start with the defending champs, the Tampa Bay Bucks. They bring back all 22 starters.
Tampa Bay.
Brady, he came out with the quote, and he's like, "I'm 44 years old, but I feel like I can throw the ball when I was 24." And then you show his highlight tape from last year, and it's like, yep, he can. He still can. Like, they showed a clip of him throwing a touchdown last year to O.J. Howard, and it was like 35 yards dime right over
Dime.
the right
Yeah, I
over the
remember which one you're
linebacker.
talking about.
And then they showed him when he was 24 throwing for New England, and I'm like, that was almost a nicer throw last year.
Yeah, it probably was a nicer throw because
Like
he's had 20 years of experience
like I
now.
just like I don't understand what this guy is doing. He's next. He's not even human. Like,
Yeah,
but
until you see him lose 3 consecutive games, take Tampa Bay over anytime.
yeah, no, yeah. Their overs at 11.5. I
Easy
think
over.
they
I
could
don't
be
even
a
need to look at the schedule.
13-14 win team.
Oh,
Like,
easily.
yeah, I'm very high on the Bucks, and to make this team even scarier is that reports have come out that AB is looking like himself 4 or 5 years ago when he was
Yeah, I
on the
saw that when
Steelers.
he was on the
So
Steelers. Yeah,
so it's like, bro, are you kidding me? Like Mike Evans, Godwin, and
and AB
AB, and you have Gronk, and you have OJ Howard coming back, who's like a young
and
and was
Cameron Brate.
yeah, and OJ Howard was like a top 5 tight end when he was like healthy. He's just been battling
With
injury the
Jameis.
past few
Yeah,
years. So it's like, bro, this
I
and
know.
they have like a top 5 defense in the league too. So
Easily.
yeah, over under 11.5 easy. Um, next team, Saints. Take it away, Hayden.
Oh, now we're gonna okay. Oh well, this is the first year without Drew Brees, and
Yeah,
who replaces him? It's not the fucking running quarterback. It's not the punt blocker, kick returner, tight end, running back, receiver, could play safety or middle
yeah,
linebacker,
yeah.
edge rusher, Taysom Hill. No, it's Jameis fucking Winston, okay?
Which is the right play. It's the right play.
It gives them the most talent, especially with
Yeah.
Michael Thomas being injured. Jameis Winston, all right. Let me write you the narrative. This guy is talented as fuck. Don't let the 30 for 30 season distract you from anything that he cannot do, okay? He is such a great quarterback. And I know I've definitely hated on him when I played or when the Saints played against him. That's obvious, okay?
Yeah.
But I didn't know he couldn't see. I knew that he didn't have anyone to learn from. And his last season with as being a starter was hampered because it was in the Bruce Arians air raid offensive system. All right. You look at Tom Brady, look at how many picks he threw this year. It was an outlier. He threw 14 or like 13 interceptions in the regular season. Like, that's just not normal, but that's just because of what Bruce Arians does. You let him go with a little bit of just fucking fling it out there. Jameis is
Air
gonna
raid.
do what Jameis is gonna. Yeah,
Very
exactly.
air raid.
Jameis is gonna do what Jameis is gonna do. Now, the defense for the Saints is their cornerstone right now. The scariest part, actually, not even, because we just signed Desmond Trufant, and that's gonna be like, he's serviceable. He's younger than Janoris Jenkins, and I think he's better than Jenkins. Their defense, we have 7 linebackers on the 53-man roster. That's insane. Defensive line, sorry. Cameron Jordan is now the smallest guy along the defensive ends.
And he's a very big human.
Yeah, he's 6'4" and he's the smallest guy, which is fucking hilarious. And then Onyemata getting that 6-game suspension, that's rough. Obviously, that's rough. A lot of people say that they lost talent over the whole team. Jared Cook fumbled away Drew Brees' last season. Josh Hill, great blocking tight end, but you got Adam Troutman and you got Nick Van Nett, who he's on the short-term IR. And they didn't really lose a lot. The biggest and best piece was the fact that they lost Drew Brees, but I see them being better this year because Drew Brees could do or couldn't do one thing Jameis can, and that's throw the ball 20-plus yards.
Yeah, Breeze was shot the past like 3 years he was playing.
Exactly. Like, look at Alvin Kamara's receiving numbers throughout the last 4 years. It's 81, 81, 81, 82.
Yeah.
That's all Drew Brees does,
Yeah.
And today, Latavius Murray was just cut. Tony Jones Jr., up-and-coming running back. If Jameis plays how he played against Jacksonville, then sky's the limit for this Saints team. And after Hurricane Ida just came in, they're not even playing their first home game at home. It's going to be in Jacksonville, where Aaron Rodgers has a career record of 3 wins and 4 losses. They knew what they were doing going into that. So I look at, this schedule, and I see so many people are down on them. I can see them easily splitting their whole division. I could see them crushing the Giants, crushing the Eagles, crushing the Cowboys, and like the Bills. That's going to be a great game. Seahawks going to be a great game. Tampa Bay, I think they could probably go 0-2, and then Tennessee, that's going to be another great game. So, what's the over under? 9.5?
Just 9 flat.
9 flat. It's either a push or it's either an over and under,
It's either an over, a push, or an under.
It's one of the two. Honestly, I say they're going to finish right at 9 wins.
I think a push. I have push or slight under for the Saints team. But
there's just a lot of risk factor towards
there's just a lot of pieces on this team where it's just like you don't know what you're getting. They've had flashes of like Callaway, he's had flashes, but it's like, how much can you hype up a preseason? I know it's hard for rookies because all you can judge them on is from preseason, so it's kind of unfair towards them, right? Mm-hmm. Because you need something to go in. You need something to go into the season with, and that's preseason. So it's like there's only so much you can take from it, right? Where it's like you can say, yo, he went off for like 140 yards and caught 2 touchdowns. He looks amazing, but it's like, but he was playing against 2s and 3s. But also it's like, what else was he supposed to do though? It's not like he went 30 yards against 2s and 3s. He did his job against 2s and 3s, right?
I actually have a counterpoint. That was against their number 1 corner, Henderson, who was a first-round pick last year, and Callaway is a undrafted free agent last year. This is his second year. So
even that. So it's just like it's so hard with preseason, right? Because like for the Patriots, Mac Jones is like, he's the highest graded rookie, but it's like, but he's playing against 2s and 3s, and it's like, but it's like, what else are you supposed to judge him on? It's like he's not going straight from Alabama to the regular season, right? So I think Callaway's looked great. Jameis has looked great. I think that year behind Drew Brees has helped him a lot.
That's going to be the biggest thing for him.
And one question I have, which is what a lot of people are thinking.
Okay.
Does Michael Thomas make it to November as a New Orleans Saint?
Oh, yeah, 100%, man. I'm going to let you guys all know right now, okay? He wasn't bashing any of the Saints, like, organization. When he came out with, like, that cryptic tweet, he was referencing the media. But, of course, everyone's going to blow it out of the water and say, like, oh, this is against Sean Payton because, of course, at that one time, he didn't contact the Saints for 3 months. But it was he had real estate agent – or not real estate. He had his house owner. He's renting a house in L.A., and the guy was giving him shit about stuff. He did have a bit of a, like, sissy season last year when he punched Gardner Johnson in the face. That was a bitch move, but he suffered his consequence. And I don't know if you saw, but him at the Baltimore game, he was wearing a Saints hat, a Saints shirt, Saints clothes, like Saints everything. So I think him and Sean Payton got this whole thing figured out. He's going to come back with Jameis, and he's going to be right in stride. I love Slant Boy. Call him whatever the fuck you want. Devontae Adams has a lower yard per catch rate than Thomas does. DJ Moore actually has been leading in slants for the last 3 years. So everyone can go shut the fuck up, suck a dick. Michael Thomas is a beast. I love this team.
All right. So he is on the team.
Yeah, he'll be on the team.
So what you're telling me is, tell me how you really feel. No, yeah, I was skeptical on that, but no, you make good points with all what you mentioned. The Falcons, they are a team where they still have a quarterback who can sling it, but they're still trying to figure out their defense. They just got a really luxurious pick and Kyle Pitts. But
Love that guy.
give me your 2 cents on Atlanta.
Um, Going into the draft, it was really questionable because I don't know if they're rebuilding or going for gold. And it's like, if you're going for gold, why not draft Pitts and keep Julio? So, excuse me. So I'm just so conflicted because they have a young defense. They have a great high-powered offense. It's just why why let Julio, go? Guys,
I think
man.
Julio wanted out.
I think he wanted out too, but it's
So,
like, come
I
on,
think-
just ride with us one more year. We'll get you guaranteed money. We'll trade you away after this year. We want to win now.
Yeah.
But ever since they did that, it's like Kyle Pitts is going to be a rookie tight end. Rookie tight ends never do good.
Yeah.
But like, if he has a great game against the Eagles, I think he could be the next Tony Gonzalez.
Wow. Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
Can Ridley be the top wide receiver this year?
I know we talked about it last year with the or last week, sorry, not last year, with the receiving yards. He could be the best receiver this year.
I think he could be like the Stephon Diggs this year, and like Ridley was even close to that last year. But the way like Diggs because Diggs was always good, but he
never
came
had
onto
that,
the
like,
scenes, and
Mhm.
because he was the number one target in Buffalo, Ridley was kind of splitting with Julio. Yeah, he might be splitting with Pitts, but Ridley is the high flying receiver in that offense,
and he's proven he can done it without Julio.
That's exactly what I was about to say, right? So, and Matt Ryan can still sling it. He can
From
still
what we've
sling
seen,
it.
yes, he can.
So, I think Ridley can easily be wide receiver 1 this year. Like it wouldn't like it.
And they have a very favorable schedule.
Yeah,
coming up for them.
Wouldn't surprise me at all. So, why don't you quickly run through the schedule, just like kind of quickly rattle off the games.
All right, here we go. We got Eagles, Bucks, Giants, football team, Jets, Dolphins, Panthers, Saints, Cowboys, Patriots, Jaguars, Bucks, Panthers, 49ers, Lions, Bills, and to finish it off, New Orleans.
Their over-under is 7.5. I got the under, I think.
Can you make them win at 7 or can you like get a 7.5 for
What
the picks there? Oh, man, that's so tough.
That's like the Vikings over-under for me. They got 8.5. I'm like,
if they beat the Eagles on Sunday, they get the over.
Okay.
I'm calling it.
I think they're under 7.5. I got a question. Was Fields the right pick at 4? Do you think they should have gone Fields? No, but like I'm saying, do you think they should have gone Fields? Like, was Fields the pick and they fucked up by taking Pitts?
Man, that's so fucking hard. Okay, their narrative was win now, so they got the right pick. They just fucked it up after. If they really wanted to rebuild, in which I think they should have, Fields was definitely the pick there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. The
Panthers. CMC returns. They get Sam Darnold, not Aaron Donald. They get Sam Darnold. Off of a year with Adam Gase and reuniting with his number 1 receiver back in New York.
Yeah.
They got J.C. Horn, who is a very if I'm not mistaken, he's like a very physical cornerback, and he doesn't let you lose one-on-one battles with him.
No, he's a great man coverage corner.
So I like the Panthers. I think they're doing the rebuild right, I think. Like DJ Moore's finally bursted onto the scenes. Robbie Anderson's a perfect second wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
McCaffrey is McCaffrey, right? There's not
Yep.
much else to say about him. And I think Darnold can really excel. Like, I think he's in a very good spot.
Oh, huge with Joe Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're over-unders at 7.5. Tell me how you feel about the Panthers and kind of your rundown on them, and then we'll kind of hit their over-under.
The Panthers have a very favorable schedule this year. If it wasn't for New Orleans being in their second game, I easily think they could have go 5-0 to start the season, but instead I think they go 4-1 just because it's that beneficial towards them. And then even in the middle of the season, they could also get like so many like this schedule is so favorable. It just depends on their defense. You know, I like their offense. They have so much talent, but their defense is just kind of like, is it good? Is it not? I don't know. So it's gonna be tough. The last half of the season, or the last 7 games are Washington, Miami, Atlanta, Buffalo, Tampa, New Orleans, and Tampa. That's kind of rough.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, this division's like the Saints and Bucks, like they've had past success, so obviously that's the reputation of that franchise. So obviously they're gonna hang on to that for as long as you can. So they're always gonna be well, not necessarily the Bucks, but everyone knows that the talent that the Bucks have. But I'm talking about the Saints. Like they've always been successful with Drew Brees there, so they're always going to be considered a tough opponent, I think. Even though I have them under, I still think they're going to be a fair fight, especially when Saints and Panthers, I think they're on a very even scale. But yeah, Panthers at 7.5. I got them hitting the over. I think they're going over 7.5. I think Sam Darnold's going to have a very good year this year. Like, he's not going to be anything like MVP like, but I mean, he can make the throws.
yeah.
It's just, can he be disciplined? And I think he finally has weapons that he can even be able to take the risks. And if he just has confidence with a better coach and he has his boy Robbie Anderson back, I like Carolina this year.
I'll go the over as well, but I'm not going any more than 8. Fuck's sakes. They're not going any more than 8 there, in my opinion. It's going to be close.
Fair enough. I think they can hit 9. Why not?
Fair enough.
I think they can edge out like a close game. But like you said, it's their defense that can be very... Can they show up? You know what I'm saying?
Yep, exactly.
All right, how do you see this division shaping out? 1-4. Bucks, Saints, Falcons, and Panthers.
Saints, but no, I'm kidding. Bucks. Let's be realistic. It's Bucks, Saints, Carolina, Atlanta. I already know what yours is going to be. Come on, just say it.
I'll say Bucks, Panthers, Saints, Falcons.
Yeah. It's rough. But I get it. You know?
It's similar to the North. I think Panthers and Saints could easily flip-flop that 2 and 3, but I don't know. For some reason, I just think the Panthers edge them out on that. But
yeah,
I mean, who knows, right? So our division winners, I think we all agreed on. We have football team, the Rams, the Packers, and the Bucks. So that's the first 4. Who's your 3 wild card teams?
3 wild card. Well, let's think back. You definitely got to put Minnesota in.
Okay.
Definitely got to put San Fran in. And then if I'm playing the narrative, I have 3 teams that are like 9 and 7. But I'm gonna go the 7th wild card spot. It's gonna be New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think 49ers and Seahawks take 5 and 6.
Okay.
Right? I think 3 from the West are getting in.
Yep.
Now the 2 teams I'm flip-flopping between are the Bears and the Cowboys. And The only thing that it's like, when will Fields get in for the Bears to put me over the Cowboys, right? If they
Yeah.
wait too long on Fields, then who knows? But also the Cowboys defense is right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
And they're my two teams finishing second, so I think they're finishing over Minnesota and New Orleans. And I don't think the Panthers are getting a wild card. So I'm gonna say the Bears take the third wild card spot in the NFC.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And
I like the way that you kind of write that out there.
and I think they edge out Arizona too.
Yeah.
Like
I don't really see a lot of big things for Arizona this year.
I have them all finishing on the same, but I'll tickle my fancy a bit and say that Chicago hits the third wild card. I don't think we
Alright.
did our picks for the AFC,
No, we didn't.
but I don't know if you want to rattle them off or if you remember them.
Well, it was easily with the Chiefs at the top, Ravens second seed,
Okay.
Bills third seed, and
The South.
the South that was my rough one. If everything goes right, Tennessee, and then the top wild card team would be LA, then Indianapolis, and then the Browns.
Yeah, I really like that.
That's what
I like
I would
that.
do.
Yeah, so mine are the Chiefs, the Bills, the Browns, and the Colts. And then my three wild cards are, now I'll go Titans, Ravens, and Chargers.
All right.
And then maybe New England battles for 1-2. And those wild cards, I didn't have any particular order. They're all like the second seed.
Okay.
But I
fair
I think Titans get the third wild card.
Get the 7 seed.
Yeah, 6 or 7. But yeah, so that's kind of what I got. All right, the season awards.
Oh man, I love these. I love this.
These are my favorite. So we each picked for the MVP, offensive players of the year, the players of the years, the rookies of the year, the comeback player, and the coach of the year. We both did kind of maybe a consensus who we think is the most popular pick or one that we like the most, and then maybe a sleeper pick where everyone, it's kind of like they're kind of tucked under. Who knows? And then we have our AFC and NFC conference games, our Super Bowl, and the winner of the Super Bowl. All right, Haydn. We'll start at the top of the food chain. The MVP.
The MVP? Oh man. Okay.
Who is your MVP pick and your sleeper pick?
In his 22nd season, bringing back his 22 starters for his team, it will be Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
That is my favorite pick. The guy showed he hasn't slowed down until you see it visually. Don't fade this motherfucker. My sleeper, Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert.
Guy's gonna carry his team.
Tell me this.
Yeah.
Cause I was looking at odds and stuff.
Okay.
At what odds is it considered a sleeper pick? Because that's what I was having trouble figuring out. Because I liked Herbert as a sleeper, but I've also heard a lot of people, or like Herbert as MVP. Like I've heard some people say that. But it's like, so is he a sleeper even though he's at like, on FanDuel he's at like plus 2,000? The sixth favorite to win it.
Well, that's 20. I was just about to say I'd say the sleeper is like 20-1 odds.
20-1? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was very unsure. Because I went with a very deep poll, and now that I say like my AFC things, it doesn't really match up. So I'll say it anyway because I think the potential's there. But because I was unsure. I was like, when is it a sleeper pick? Like,
yeah, I'd say 20-1.
20-1. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I still like all my sleeper picks, but my MVP, they might contest for a perfect season. I think Patty Mahomes is going to win MVP. I think he could have won it the past couple years. He's always a safe bet. I really like the Brady pick too. I think he's going
Yep.
to he showed no sign of slowing down, and why not continue back? I think it's especially with how AB's looked. I like that Brady pick.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes' offensive line only got better last year, and for some reason, I think that Super Bowl he just has a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And Travis Kelce, he's still at the top of his game, but I don't think he's going to have this Travis Kelce for much longer. So I think he's just going to tee off, and I think he's going to win MVP. My sleeper
It's gonna be
pick,
interesting.
my sleeper pick, Ryan Tannehill.
Ooh, that would be so cool if Tannehill won it.
Yeah,
I
AJ
like
Brown,
that.
AJ
Julio
Brown and
Jones,
Julio, and then
Derrick
Derrick Henry
Henry.
can still catch out of the back. He's very mobile as it is.
Anthony Ferkser.
So I don't know. It's just like I saw it and I was like he's down there.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey man, he has the pieces around him to get some production. It's just a matter of like how will like the Titans overall do because their defense is kind of sus. And I have them
Yep.
finishing the 6th or 7th in the AFC for the playoffs. But they could easily win that division and lock up the 4 seed.
They could. Yeah.
So yeah, he's my sleeper pick for MVP. Offensive Player of the Year,
You go first.
Christian
We'll go back and
McCaffrey.
forth. Ooh,
Christian McCaffrey.
interesting. At what point does he become the comeback player of the year, though? Because he did play for 3 games, right? But then dipped again.
See, that's a good point. Because I saw a lot of players on the comeback player of the year, and it was like they just didn't play. I think comeback player of the year, like you're out for like 75% of the season for injury because that's right. McCaffrey did come back, and then he just like kind of
Kind of
sat.
left again. Yeah, because injury again.
So I think he's obviously still up there, but he's my offensive player of the year. I still think he's gonna have a
Be a
McCaffrey
beast.
year. Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
And to me, offensive player of the years go to non-quarterbacks. That's just my thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much else to say. And my sleeper pick, Calvin Ridley.
Okay.
Calvin
Completely
Ridley.
just leading the team.
Like if he has like a Stephon Diggs year, why not?
Yeah, no, true enough. If Atlanta does well, then I can easily see him winning it.
Yeah.
But I'll
see,
tell you
even
who
even
will do
offensive
well.
even offensive player of the year, I don't think your team needs to do well. If you have a unreal season and like I think Deshaun Watson last year could have won offensive player of the year, but his
Yeah,
team won 4
how
games.
shit of a team, yeah.
Like Deshaun Watson had his best season in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like he
But then
led the
you
league
gotta
in
look at
passing.
you got to look at the clear outlier seasons too, right? Like
Yeah.
with Derrick Henry winning last year,
Yeah.
rushing over 2,000 yards. Michael Thomas the year before, catching 149 passes or something. Like, just insanity. So
like, I think your team doesn't have to do well. It helps, but I don't think they have to do well for you to win offensive player of the year.
I'll tell you what the best all-around season will be. And, this guy, he's kind of pissed that someone stole his receiving yard record for this position. So he's going to get it back. Plus, he's going to tie Rob Gronkowski in the tight end touchdown for 17. It's Travis fucking Kelce. It is not even make or break. It's fucking Pistons are firing on all cylinders here. This guy is going to have a beastly season.
I like that pick.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
And my sleeper pick is going to be Alvin Kamara. Guy's going to be the whole head of the offense for the first 5 weeks of the year. Jameis, hopefully he learns to check it down, and he was learning to do a little bit of that, which was nice to see. So, plus, like Alvin Alvin could have won it last year, but Derrick Henry just fucking went off, So yeah, give me a sleeper Alvin Kamara.
I like that. All right. Defensive player of the year.
This guy, he's a beast from the East, but then he went to the West, which is not entirely true. He was in the West, went to the North actually. He's a bear himself. It's Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack.
Yeah, this is his outlier season to have 25 sacks.
I like Khalil Mack.
He's going up against some B tier teams with B tier, maybe even C tier offensive lines. After just looking at the schedule, so give me Khalil Mack. My sleeper, it's gonna be Myles Garrett. I said that he was gonna have the.
I don't think Myles Garrett's a sleeper. I think you gotta do better.
I'm saying this now.
You gotta do better on a sleeper pick. He's like a top 3 favorite to win the whole thing.
Yeah, no, that's true. All right. Well, then, quickly going at this now. Sleeper pick for Defensive Player of the Year.
Aaron Donald. He might break out this year.
Yeah. He just might break out this year.
Yeah.
All right. No, you know what? This guy, it's a great cornerback. He's seen as a top 3 cornerback, but I don't like that narrative because he does get a lot of passes thrown his way and he does make great plays, but great cornerbacks don't get the ball passed their way. Yeah. That's what makes them great. But just because he is, and he's going to have so many, he's a great receiving corner. It's Jair Alexander.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
For me, I got Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett. I don't like much of the offensive line in the division, and he's with Jadeveon Clowney on the other side. He's not going to get all the attention, so I think he's going to tee off this year. And my sleeper pick is, for that same reason, Chandler Jones for the Arizona Cardinals.
Interesting. Yeah.
With J.J. Watt, he's a beast himself. He's led the league in sacks once before without a guy like J.J. Watt on his line.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Could happen.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. This one, I branched away from Trevor Lawrence because I don't trust that offensive line. I still think Trevor Lawrence is going to be the truth and is going to have a really, really great career. But something scares me. He's not going to have a lot of time to throw, and he might throw a lot of picks because he might just huck him up. But this guy, I think he will get in early enough. Justin Fields. I really like David Montgomery. I like Darnell Mooney this year. Allen Robinson has been the most underappreciated wide receiver in the league for the past couple of years. And yeah, I don't know. There's not much else to say about Fields. I like him a lot. He's an absolute gamer, and he rushes a lot enough to propel him up. And also, highlight reels can control the narrative, and he's gonna. I think he's gonna be on the highlight reel a lot. So
that's very true.
And my sleeper pick is Javonte Williams.
Okay.
Denver, or Trey Sermon, but I think I lean more Javonte Williams because I think he'll take over RB1 quicker than Sermon will. But
fair enough.
That's me. What about you, Offensive Rookie of the Year?
I see this kind of playing out from last year. There was one clear quarterback who could win it, and then there was one clear receiver who probably should have won it. Yeah. Even though I'm on the public side of saying Justin Herbert, I feel like did more for his team because as a wide receiver and where he wasn't getting matched up against the number 1 corners, but now he will. So that's why Justin Jefferson did so well. But Offensive Rookie of the Year, Zach Wilson. I think him and Robert Saleh could really actually do something and make them or project them over, more wins. I even see Zach Wilson maybe getting close to 4,000 yards just because he's going to be behind so much. And he likes Corey Davis and he likes the whole offense from what I hear. So hopefully they do well. My sleeper pick, the receiver, Stevonta Smith. Apparently, he's the clear-cut number one wide receiver in the Philadelphia Eagles room. It's going to be him and Quez Watkins on the outside and Rager in the slot. So, yeah, Devonta Smith, he's probably going to have like a CeeDee Lamb or better season, I'd say. Not Justin Jefferson, but definitely up there. He's just such a crisp route runner. And you want to talk about highlight reels? This guy's going to break some fucking ankles before he even catches some balls.
Yeah. All right, let's speed this up a bit. Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Patrick Surtain II. He's on a great defense in Denver. Love that. My sleeper pick, J.C. Horn. Very physical guy. Could easily put him up against some good number twos and see him dominate them.
I got Kwity Paye for Indianapolis, and he's just had a really good preseason, and I like him just especially in that division. And Asante Samuel Jr. is my sleeper pick.
One also really good defensive rookie of the year that could win it is the Buffalo Bills edge rusher that they got. I like him as well.
Yeah. Comeback player of the year.
Do we both have the same player?
3, 2, 1. Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott. I mean, you see that offense. You see the way he played last year.
The man has heart.
Yeah.
He looks good right now. I like Dak.
Yeah. And my sleeper pick is Nick Bosa.
Ah, okay. My sleeper pick is Saquon.
Saquon?
Yeah.
Coach of the year.
I'll let you take this one.
Me?
First,
Brandon Staley for the Chargers.
Ooh, okay, the Chargers, yeah. First year coming in.
Yeah. I honestly think they could be a team where they could compete with the Chiefs on any given day. Like if Herbert's anything like he was last year, and I think he will be because I think the decision making will be better with Staley. And my sleeper pick, Saleh for the Jets.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a sleeper right there just because it's the Jets.
But if he can show any sign of hope, that carries a lot in voting.
That does.
That does. They could lose a bunch of games, but if they're competitive, he could still win it because it's all about the jump you made from the year prior, and that's why I think he could.
Yeah.
Win
that's very true.
Who do you got?
My narratives here are almost like the exact opposite, almost. So for my coach of the year, I have Sean Payton, showing that he doesn't need Drew Brees to really run a tentative team. I feel like he's a great coach all around, and that could really project him into if he comes out and just knows what he's fucking doing, people are gonna be like, wow, why did we ever doubt New Orleans? And my sleeper is so far from any rookie head coach, but it's Bruce Arians, showing about how smart he is to bring back all 22 starters.
Yeah. No, fair point. All right. I want you to give me your AFC, NFC, and then your Super Bowl pick.
All right. So the AFC championship, I have Baltimore heading to Buffalo.
Okay.
Buffalo I know I said in my rankings it was Kansas City, Baltimore, but those top three could go either which way, except for being that I think Buffalo will be ahead of Baltimore. So that's why they're going to head to Buffalo. And then for my NFC, Tampa Bay hosts the LA Rams.
Tampa Bay hosts the LA Rams.
Yep. And for the Super Bowl, Buffalo will defeat the LA Rams
and win Super Bowl
50. Oh God. Wait. Let's see. Super Bowl 2021 day.
56.
Is it 56?
58?
I think it's
58. Alrighty, so you got the Bills beating Baltimore and the Rams beating the Bucks, and then ultimately the Bills holding the trophy at the end of the year. I'm on a similar path as you. I got the Chiefs versus Bills facing
Again.
off. Yep. And the Bucks versus Rams. I'm with you on the Bucks versus Rams. But I got the Chiefs versus Rams in the Super Bowl. And I think the Rams are winning Super Bowl 56 this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So in a season where, in the Super Bowl era, no team has ever won the Super Bowl at their home stadium. The Rams, you're projecting, are going to win the Super Bowl at their home stadium.
Tampa Bay just did that last year.
I was referencing Tampa. Yeah, that's my bad. I was referencing Tampa Bay doing that last year. So back-to-back years for you now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they have a bunch of pieces where they can get it done. They got a quarterback. If they've made it to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff, I think their team's only gotten better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, why not? But
Why not?
Haydn, as you know, on the show, we always do something called Time for the Press. And today we have a question from good friend of the show, if it hasn't changed since the last time I looked, Emma Houghton from the Did You Hear podcast. She said, is it Super Bowl or bust for LA? What would a disappointing season look like otherwise?
I'm assuming she's saying the Rams.
Yeah, I'm assuming the Rams too. For me, I don't think it's Super Bowl or bust because of how many good teams are out there, and they're not necessarily the favorite. But I definitely think they're in a different stage of winning now than they were last year. And I think that's going to continue on. Like, I think their expectations are going to be higher. I think they should be contending for the NFC title for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that it's Super Bowl or bust for them. A disappointing season would be, I think, even being in a wild card spot. Actually, no, I disagree with that because that division's so tough. I think obviously not making the playoffs is tough. Would be disappointing. But anything less than 10 wins to me is disappointing to them because of how good their team is. I think they can. They're the best team in their division, in my opinion. So I think anything less than double-digit wins is disappointing.
Yeah, I'd say so. That's probably the biggest area where it's not Super Bowl or bust, but it's, what would you even call that? Like,
you got to get to playoffs, like, because it's tough to win that division that they're in, but they should be good enough to contend for the division every year, and that should be good enough to get you a wild card spot.
I agree.
3 teams from that division should be making the playoffs.
Realistically, 3 teams can make the playoffs.
And if Arizona's good enough, all 4 of them can make it. So I think LA should be making the playoffs every year. But anything less than 10 wins is disappointing, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Haydn, that was super fun. I'm going to check and see if I got any more. I don't think I did. But
you never know.
I believe that's all. Accounts here. Yep, that is all the questions we have today. Thank you so much for coming on again. The NFL preview series is wrapped up, and we are ready to go for Thursday. Give me a little prediction on what score you think is going to come down on Thursday.
I just want you to really captivate this moment, right? Tomorrow, when this episode airs, the next day, we'll have a football game on that day.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that you know that.
Football season
easily
is back.
It is fucking back. It is ready to go. Tampa Bay, clearly a way better team than Dallas. If you're asking for a score prediction, fucking 80-10. I don't know.
I think it's going to be. I'm saying 40 to 24.
Oh, okay. Going offensive heavy. I think offenses tend to usually have a little bit of a quiet start. So I'm going to say 30 to 17. 30 to 17.
Sounds good, homie. All right, bro. like last episode, where can the people find you?
On Instagram, Haydn_Barton. That's what I'm doing. Just posting. Obviously, just got back from a fucking gnarly ass camping trip this past weekend. That was fun.
That was
Check out the gram.
Yeah, that was an absolute travesty.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck, man. That was bad.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys know where to follow me on Instagram at Jevin.Lefave, on Twitter at JevinLefave. Find everything for the show at LeftSideHeavy_. Intro outro music, as you know, is Savage by Tom Lavery featuring Six Man. And be sure to subscribe to the YouTube. It's trying to grow the brand. And if you're watching this, thank you for joining us in this video. And there's probably a weird cut near the end of it because my Zoom storage was full, so it randomly cut out the video unknowingly. So this video might even get up later. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. NFL season is right here, right now, and couldn't be more excited for it. But Haydn, once again, thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next time.
Just got a leg, go call me a Benz, or paid all cash, I won't take no rent.